Blind guy. Just gonna let a couple of people join on, get the algorithm working and spreading the word. Guys, today's gonna be a good one, in my opinion, of course. But today's gonna be a good one, and the reason for that is I'm actually, we if anyone follows our stories on Instagram, Facebook, things like that, you'll see that the whole team went back through and looked at all the websites and picked their favorite ones. And firstly, it was great to hear the insights from the team. You know, that everyone's got different opinions on what makes a website good, which is really healthy, I think, in a business, so that you can have subjective and independent opinions on stuff. So that was really good, and some surprising dark horses came through. Stringer Collective was one. That was a bit of a dark horse because I haven't seen that one in a while. Central Avenue Homes, was a nicer one as well. And then obviously my answer, it's these websites are like my babies. I can't just pick one. That's a favorite. But I'm going to get straight into this one. So basically what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to play a clip, a video from a few years back. So when we were doing this and looking at the websites, I found this video that I made ages ago and never really did anything with. But it was when we built Cam's favorite website, which is Christie's Landscapes. We built that website. We posted on. We're about to post it. And I said to Cam, we should make a video on this website and put it in, and upload it. And so this is the video from that website, and what I find really refreshing is when I watched it beforehand to put it back up here, the information is still just as relevant today as it was back then. It wasn't that, admittedly, it wasn't that long ago, it was only 2 years ago, but it's still super relevant. Everything we do on websites today, maybe the polish is a little bit better now, but all the fundamental stuff that is on this website is stuff we still do today when we build websites. So super stoked about that. Guys, enjoy. I'm still going to be in the chat, so if you guys have any questions, ask them in the chat. I'll pause the video, I'll bring myself up. I'm just going to have it in the background while I do a couple of things, but if you have a question about the website, let me know. I'll bring it up and I'll answer them as we go. So guys, looking forward to showing you this. Ignore the beard, it was a lot longer. I was a few kilos bigger as well, I think. So yeah, enjoy. I'm going to get myself out of here and enjoy the video. People are a little bit they like to use that spacing for their brand, but look, honestly, Christie's Landscapes up here, so why double up? So we use that landscaping and design in Canberra. Obviously they're moving to Canberra, and then we talk a little bit about the business, try and fit some keywords into there as well. Got landscaping in there, but in a way that's not over the top. Big thing with the websites that we build, call to action. So everywhere you go, there's some kind of call to action to be able to interact with and to inquire, because obviously if you break down what this website does, it's a lead generation website. It's designed to generate leads for Christie's Landscapes. So we have click to call button. So if you press that on a mobile, it will put the mobile number in the phone. Same with this up here. And so the first thing you see when you get into the website is 2 call to actions. And then a third call to action in this book a free consultation today. So we can someone can fill in these details. It will send an email to the client, and then they can actually reply back, get a call back. Because not everyone's comfortable picking up a phone and talking. So it's important to have some way of them interacting with you. That's through email or text or things like that. So then we talk about a little bit about why Christie's Landscapes, why you should choose them, call to action. Then the services pages, which will break down the importance of these, but these are basically the services that Christie's Landscapes offers. They do landscape construction and like feature walls, things like that. So break down a little bit of why this is so important, a bit about why our clients love us, and then just a bit about why using us in particular, and then social proof, a bit about why the clients really like working with us, and a bit of a gallery of the work that we do for them. They also do designs, so like landscape designs, which is on here as well. And then another call to action at the bottom here. But let me break down the process, how we got from the old website, which is here, because this was a rebuild. So the old website's here, if I can spell it properly. So the old website is still live and still online, so you can see it if you go here. So this is the old website. Nothing wrong with it. It's fine, but you'll see a lot of once you sort of listen for a bit, you'll see a lot of the features missing that we think make a really good lead generation website. So that's the old website to going from here with a minimal amount of input from the client. The client's a busy man doing his actual work, so we had to make sure that we balanced getting the feedback we need with sort of filling in the gaps and doing a bit ourselves and just working out the kinks after we get something for him to look at. So the first thing we do on any project is consultation. So they sort of say 10 minutes of planning saves an hour of bad execution. It is so true. So basically I got on the phone with the client for about an hour and we discussed all kinds of stuff, profit margins, why the clients use you, what your USP is, what you've done in the past, what's worked, what hasn't, what colors do you like, everything you can think of. It's a bit monotonous and you need a solid hour to do it properly. But if you do it, then you can sort of, as a designer, you can sort of gauge the feel about how they want to talk to their clients, the feel that the site's going to have, the colors they like, things like that. So in that, we discuss the needs, we discuss what's not working at the moment, and then we sort of come up with a little bit of a brief. Now, the way we do it internally, every agency's got a different idea of how they tackle this, but we basically create mood boards for the clients. So we'll go around the internet looking for inspiration from other websites, and we break websites down into elements. So, basically we'll look at other websites from a structural point of view and go, what elements do we like from this website that we can make our own when we build? And so we do a lot of that. We also discuss what's been done in the past and what they feel's worked and what they don't like and like. And then their expectation. I think that's probably the biggest thing. You need to, when you're working with someone or you're doing it yourself, you need to set the expectation of what you're actually trying to achieve, because if you're not aligned expectation-wise, it can go horribly wrong. And I'm sure everyone out there has had an experience themselves or has a friend that's had a really bad experience doing this. And a lot of that comes down to expectations. So we knew with the client that he was a busy guy. He was working a lot of hours himself, and he didn't really have the time to double check everything, and didn't really have the time to provide us. We needed to basically fill in the gaps for him so he could come back through after the fact and fix it. So that's what we did. We did a lot of our own sort of what we felt looked good and worked well, and then we basically had the site live so the client could come and have a look. And then we did a lot of the fixing up and stuff at the end, when generally some clients we'll work with will do it in steps, so they can see the progress, and then they can put their input in there. But some people have more time than others to really, or even just a better idea of what they want. So we took a lot of our own liberties on that. This is why I'm quite proud of this website, because it's basically, all of us. And then the client came through and, fixed up the things that he didn't like, the photos and stuff, and we got a really good result. So the first thing any designer should do for you and yourself is sit down and work out the structure of the website. So basically you can see here that we have our links to all the pages. We actually pre-planned all this before we even started building a single thing. So we sat down and we actually went, okay, from a website perspective, we need to make sure that every page has a purpose. We don't want to be building pages that have no purpose being on the internet. So we actually sat down, Cam, myself, the team, we sat down and went, okay, so what are we going to do here? So we need a way of building authority, which is the About Us page. We need him to be able to articulate his services. It's a very visual thing, landscaping. So we need a place that he can show off his work. Now, the landscape design's almost a separate element of the business, so it needs its own place. And then the contact us, pretty straightforward. And then a place for us to build authority when we're doing the search engine optimization, which is the blog. So we came up with this structure, and we did a thing called siloing, where you basically break what he does into services, and then those services become effectively little web pages in themselves that will rank on Google. Because there's a common misconception out there that on Google, the homepage is what ranks. So like people think when you type in landscaping, that Christie's Landscapes.com.au is what's going to rank, but very rarely does it actually rank. What normally actually ranks on Google is the service page. So like, for instance, if we went to landscaping features, someone types in, custom benches, this is actually the page that's going to rank, not the homepage. So, landscaping features Canberra. So they need to be treated as their own independent page with their own social proof, everything like that. So a lot of people fall over that way. The only time the homepage really ranks is if someone types in Christie's Landscapes or like types in the brand. So it's important to put a lot of time and effort into service pages, and that's where the old website really didn't do it justice, because the way the website was structured, the service, it was like one big page, and that was broken down into like paragraphs, right? So like Google actually had nothing to latch onto when it came to ranking it. So he ranked really well for landscaping because his homepage was all about it, but paving, walls, things like that didn't rank. So we've also designed this to be visually, well, we think it's visually appealing, but also to rank from a individual service perspective. And that's a critical thing that you need to look at doing if you're going to be building your own website, is really sit down and work out, okay, what are our core services, and what do we want to show up when people type in certain words in Google? Because even if we did nothing else to this website, so no search engine optimization, no external stuff, it would still rank because it's been done properly. So like that's the key, is getting the structure and the consulting done properly, so that when you go live with it, Google can come into the site, like crawl it with its spiders and go, okay, well, this page is about landscaping, this page is about walls, this page is about features, this is about paving, this one's about decking. So Google can then go, okay, well, we're going to make that like the anchor to all of our keywords, because that page isn't going anywhere. So it's obviously an area that people fall over, and that leads us to the next and most, as critical part of as structure is content. So we come across a lot of websites and we do a lot of web rebuilds where the owner's been, they've worked with an agency or they've done it themselves, and they've basically gone, you handle the content. So this is the client, the designer will go, you do the content. And I don't know if that's necessarily fair, because, a lot of the times the client doesn't actually know what to write about. It's actually quite a skill to write content in volume, and to write it in a way that Google really likes. So the next thing we do is we take that structure page and we work out what content we're going to write, because one of the critical factors that Google's taking into account now is contextual relevance of the page. So the more content you have on there that's relevant, that's contextual, that ties it all together, the more stuff Google has to read and to look at to be able to find what keywords to rank you for. So let's take an example of let's look at decking, for instance, right? So we got this decking page, and it's very generic, decking in Canberra. Doesn't, it's not going to enter any royal shows, it's not going to win any awards, but the whole idea is that we're giving Google the context of the page straight away. So we got our call to action button here, and we got this form for people that don't want to call us, basically. So then we talk about decking construction and installation, and even just out of the box, we have 300 words and a picture, call to action, some social proof. So like when people come on here, so the key feature is that these service pages, and I'll just show you all of them, but these service pages, these are what's going to actually get us the traffic and get us the conversions, not the homepage. So the homepage could look like absolute garbage. As long as these pages are done properly, then it almost doesn't matter. The homepage is there to tie it all together. That's like, that's the tie the package together. So let's go back to decking for a sec. So you can see here, lots of content, lots talking about like landscaping services, decking construction, and then we have a bit of social proof here. So if someone's coming through and they don't know us, they can go, okay, well, actually, they've got some really good feedback here. And then we actually, I'm just going to open this up quickly. We actually, that one. Oh yeah, so that goes to our Google My Business listing. I forgot. So like it shows all of our reviews, right? Then we talk about questions that people would ask if they were going to make a decision about doing decking. So, this is stuff that people type into Google. So what is decking? Decking is a level of ground which is structured of various woods and composite materials. So we start to talk about that. We talk about what are the benefits of adding decking to my home. How to choose the right decking material, how to choose a decking material that's right for me. Another call to action. And what type of decking materials you can use. Now, obviously, as an owner of a business, you're not going to put that stuff in there, but This is what separates websites that get traffic and get business and websites that don't, honestly. So you get the content right and you get the call to actions for conversions right, then once you let Google do its job and work out what your site's about and maybe give it a little bit of a push with search engine optimization, you basically push. So like I would expect that this page is going to rank for wood decking, just all the decking keyword terms, what type of decking should I use, that kind of stuff. So that's a critical part of modern Google, is lots of quality content. Now, not all content's created equal, and this is why I suggest that you find, even if you don't use a web designer, you find someone to help with your content, because writing a blog post about your experiences versus writing in a way that balances what customers want and what Google wants is not easy. So it's about finding the right person. I don't do it personally. I have a friend of mine that's exceptional at it, and she writes really amazing content. So even people that are in this space don't specialize in content, because it's such a critical part of the experience that you can really stuff it up if you don't do it right. So there's probably 1,000 words of content on this page, and you think, okay, well, how can I write about 1,000 words of decking? And that's what you do, is you start talking about decking itself. The questions that people would type into Google, basically. And then as you can see here, we got a bit of a gallery of bits and pieces of our work, just all and it's a combination of decking photos and others, just in case there's people that don't actually, they land on decking, but they're looking at maybe a bigger, broader project. They can come and see everything that we do. And then there's a footer that ties it all together. So it's about, you want to find out more about our decking solution. So if someone, you know what it's like, you go on Google and you scroll to the bottom to find details, you've still got a bit of context to what the page is about, which really helps Google. But like I said, I keep stressing the fact that you want to do this properly, because these pages are actually more important than the homepage itself. So it's important to do them well. So the other thing is call to action. So you can see on this page there's a heap of call to actions here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 buttons on this one page. So the website has hundreds of buttons, right? Now the reason for this is, you scroll through, you're reading the content and you decide, okay, I'm ready to communicate. You don't want to have the potential client have to scroll all the way back up to the top to find the information they need to contact, because they lose where they are in the flow of the website, but they also, it just adds more friction. And this is a bit of an example from a client, an existing client of mine that's doing quite well. We put a heat map on his site. Now, I don't like to do this often because it does slow your site down, but we wanted to see where people were pressing. And as you can see, where are we? So we're going to go to mobile, because it's more relevant to mobile than it is elsewhere. But you can see, so here we go. So you can see this basically tracks where people click on the website, and it's like real time. So if someone presses a button, it comes up as a click. So as you can see here, button gets clicks. And as we scroll through the website, button gets lots of clicks. Button gets lots of clicks. Button gets lots of clicks. Button. So like you think about, so each one of them is getting about 10 or 11 clicks. So you think about how much traffic we could potentially be, like potential customers we could potentially be losing by not having those buttons there. See, clicks. So like there's like 50 clicks as you go through the page. So like, yeah, obviously this gets a lion's share of the clicks that's had 30 something clicks, but not everyone's going to take the time to scroll back up. It's actually easier to go back than it is to scroll back up to the top. So we need to basically go wherever they decide, okay, we've made a decision, we want to contact this guy. We need to give them an option to contact us easily. So, click to call buttons are very important. Look, they do take a little bit from the, they do feel a little bit spammy, I suppose, subjectively, but they do work. And, at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure we don't build glorified business cards. We're trying to build websites that are designed to be put to work and act like a full-time salesman for Christie's Landscapes, right? So very important to have lots of click to calls, and it doesn't matter which page you go to. So you can go to the About page and click to call. click to call to action. So it's very important to have, even in our galleries, click to calls, because you want to make sure that if they're moving around the website, they have a way of getting in contact with you. Another thing I really like about this website is we tried something different with our galleries. Normally with galleries, people tend to have individual pages for the different products, but we've actually gone and made like a little widget here to be able to show the specific things people are looking at. So you can actually flick through the photos really quickly. Love it. It's a feature we tried the first time on this website. Now, the other thing is social proof. Now, humans are social beings. No one likes to stick their neck out for something that's, there's early adopters in the world, and then there's everyone else. So those early adopters are willing to try things even though they're not proven or what have you. But most people want to see that other people are happy with results. That's why we have a lot of gallery photos. That's why we have photos of other people, of the work that we've done. And that's why we have a lot of testimonials. So a lot of websites miss this part. You need to be, I know it feels a little bit arrogant, but you really need to be showing them why they should be using you, because other people have used you and are happy with you. So, you can see on all our websites, we have a lot of social proof. Every page has basically got some testimonials, a bit of like client work. And that's really important from a social proof perspective in helping people work out, that Joe Blogs down the road's used you, so I'm going to give you a try as well, right? So that's really important if you're trying to sell something that requires an inquiry first. That's social proof. So you can see, like I said, every page, including the galleries, I think too. The galleries may not, because it does scroll down. Oh yeah, there we go. So the galleries still do have social proof. Click to call. Click to call. So the theme, the underlying theme of our websites when we build them is lots of interaction, lots of dwell. So dwell is basically how long people stay on the website, because it's really good signals for Google if people hang around on the website and get the information they need. So the last thing that we really look at is looks. Now, I'm not as big as others on the looks of websites. I think that really the ugliest websites can still do the best on Google, because it's just about how you execute. But it's also important in industries where, there's a distinction between low value, high volume, and high value, low volume industries. So if you're in a high value, low volume industry, you need to make sure that your aesthetics and your brand is aligned across everything you do, because what generally happens, and we've seen this with our clients, is they'll see you around on Google or just around the traps, and then they'll come and do some research. So they'll come onto your website, have a look, and then they'll go onto your Facebook and have a look. And if you got this really amazing Facebook page with lots of interaction, and then your website it was a 2-minute build, then it disconnects the brand, and it just puts that shadow of a doubt in their head. Whereas if your brand's consistent across all of the platforms that anyone will possibly look at, then there's more chance you're going to remove that friction of someone going, oh, is this guy, just a cowboy or something? So, that's where a good, consistent brand across everything that you do really helps. Now, if you're in a high volume, low dollar figure industry, like let's say hypothetically, mobile mechanics, things like that, then the branding is less important, because it's people are trying to find information to get in contact, and maybe they're contacting a few more people and things like that. So, you can get away with not having as nice a polished website as this in those industries where there's a high volume of people, because Christie's needs to get every client, because the dollar figures are so high in landscaping. So it's important to make sure that everything that we do on this website is of a standard that reflects the quality of work that he does, and the rest of his brand on social media, and the reviews that he's got. Is an amazing landscaper. So that's really all there is to a website. The rest of the website is really just there to fill out the rest of it. Just to recap, the most critical part of this website is actually these service pages. The home page, the About Us page. The About Us page is important too, but that's more for a search engine optimization reason, for a thing called EAT, which is about authority. So, Google wants to make sure they display results of people that are legitimate. So we use the About Us page to build authority behind the actual website and the company itself. And then, this landscape design, this is a pretty page we're pretty happy with. This is going to, we're going to have to fix that. That's out in the SKU. But this is actually going to rank for landscape design in itself. Again, it's a landing page, right? But we really, I think we did a really good job with this page in particular. Like it was, there wasn't much content. Like we didn't have much idea about what to do, but as you can see, these actually link to. So like what I really like about this page is it really explains the value of landscape design, and then we can talk about some features of some of these. We talk about like we created galleries, so that if someone types in native landscape designs, and these pages can rank. So it's all about thinking about how people are going to search on Google. So that's probably the other thing, key takeaway I want people to think about is. Think less about what the website's going to look like, and more about what you want the website to do for people. That's probably the biggest takeaway from this is, if you're going to build a website, think about how people type things into Google. Think about how people interact with Google, and then build around that. Because if you do it the other way, then you could build a really nice website that won't get a single person through the door. Or if they do come through the door, they don't inquire because there's no call to action. So think about how you want people to interact with the site over, and that's called user experience. So think about the user experience of the website over the cosmetics. The last thing I want to quickly talk about is internal linking. So as you can see here, there's a lot of links on this website linking to other pages. The reason for this is that Google actually, when it looks for a website and is like looking for keywords and looking for things to rank you for, it actually follows links into the website. So if you want them to go deeper into the website, you've got to basically get them through links to go to the other parts of the website. So as you can see here, everything is sort of linked together. So you can see here, like this is linked to the landscape design section. There's a link to the about page. There's a link to basically every other page that we care about. There's a link to off the homepage, because Google a lot of the times will only index the homepage and then follow links through it, especially on newer websites. So we need to give Google a reason to go further. And if Google can use its robots as spiders to get to every page, then they know there's a good chance that a person that comes to christieslandscapes.com.au can find the information they need. That's the theory behind it. So that's really important as well as internal link structure. We work out that internal linking structure when we do the structure of the website and when we build it. So hopefully you found this helpful. It's a bit long-winded, but I think this is a website we're really proud of, as is every website that we build. And hopefully there's a few tips and tricks here that can, and a few theoretical concepts here that can really help you improve the quality of the website that you're going to build or you're going to get built for you. Thanks very much for your time. I'm Jimmy, and enjoy the rest of your day. God. That video just finished. Thanks for watching, guys. In all seriousness, no, I watched the whole thing, and I've been answering questions on the side, as if you guys have seen that. Everything I had in that is still relevant today, which is good. It means that what we're doing is working. So you can watch that video. If you wanted to save a bit of money, take that video, take it to a web designer that does websites for like $500 and get him to copy that, and you'll generate a lot of business. I think you can overcomplicate this stuff, but like honestly, I'm glad I watched that again, because it's always nice to get a bit of a rehash, and it's part of the reason I do all these live streams, to be honest, is I want to be able to go back in 2 or 3 years and see if what I was saying was still true to this day or right, or it's a bit of a journaling type situation. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm going to be floating around. Scott, hit me up, mate. I'm always happy to help you if you want someone to give an eye of your site. And yeah, I'll see you all next week, and hopefully, don't know what the topic's going to be next week, but we'll find something to talk about. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great weekend.